ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Gurmukh Pyareo, before we hear about the importance of Amrit, first let's all of us partake in Guru Kalgitar Sache Paatshah Maharaj's Gur Fateh. So Guru Maharaj can give us their blessing so this mute can speak and those listening come to understand something and take something away from it. So Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Guru Maharaj has blessed us with this opportunity to understand the importance of Amrit. Now, I can see most of you look as if you've taken Amrit. But we can never hear enough a Sakhi again and again. Every time we do hear a Sakhi, what it does, it solidifies our resolve on keeping on that path and also keeping Ret. But more so towards those of our brothers and sisters who are yet to take Amrit or about to take Amrit or haven't really made their mind up and need that just slight bit of an extra push as why to take Amrit. First, just in brief, the word Amrit and how Amrit came about. Most of us associate the word Amrit with Khande ki Paul, ja Amrit Shakna, or as we say in English, to take Amrit. The word Amrit itself, Hanji Bhai Sahab Ji, the word Amrit itself, the word is Mrit, Mrit meaning death. Most of you probably heard the words Mritu, Mritya, Mirtak, and all of them stem from this one word called Mrit. Mrit means death, and the at the front of it, Amrit, gives it a negative charge. It's a negative prefix. So whatever the function of the word is, Mrit meaning death, it makes it devoid of that. So the word Amrit itself actually means without, devoid, absent of death. From Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sache Paatshah Ji's time up until Guru Gobind Singh Ji's time, there's an Amrit that a lot of us don't really hear about. Those of you that's taken Amrit, obviously you'll have heard about this. From Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sahib Ji's time up until Guru Gobind Singh Ji's time, whenever any Gursikh or anyone came to Guru Maharaj's sanctuary and they wanted to become a Sikh and they wanted Guru Sahib Ji Maharaj to be at their head and be their Guru, the initiation ceremony was as such where Guru Sahib Ji's lotus feet would be washed with water. And having been washed with water, the Ablaki, the person who's seeking to gain Maharaj's Sharan, they would then drink that water. Once they've drunk that water, Guru Sahib Ji would then give them a certain set of instructions. If you read Guru Itihas, Maharaj gives many instructions to many Sikhs in different ways, but the most common instruction was Naam, Dan, Ishnan. Now that's Naam Japna, Amrit Vele Utke Ishnan Karna, and Dan Karna from your Kirt Kamai. Now whenever Guru Sahib Ji gave this instruction and people who followed Guru Sahib Ji's instruction, Maharaj became responsible for them. Now there's just a quick thing I want to touch on here, because there are some of us who will think, who are new to this, that why would anyone want to drink water? Where Guru Sahib Ji, or as an individual, they might think that have washed their feet in. Guru Sahib Ji's Charan, Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji's, they're not like my feet that stay in trainers, maybe even sweat, maybe even begin to swell. Guru Sahib Ji's Charan, there's a whole world of difference between any individual's Charan and Guru Sahib Ji's Charan. To understand this, if you just imagine having two pieces of copper wire and going to the national grid, wiring one of those copper wires into the national grid and the other copper wire you hold in your hand. If you lick the copper wire that you hold in your hand, at most you're going to get a taste of copper. But if you turn around and lick that copper wire that has been wired into the national grid, you're going to become a permanent feature of the national grid. So when whoever drank the Amrit from Guru Sahib Ji's Charan, Maharaj's Kala used to work through the Amrit. Now fast forwarding, also not only Charnamrit it was called Charan Paul. Sorry, I forgot to mention that as I started speaking about Charnamrit. Now that Maryada stayed all the way up until the Vaisakhi of 1699. At 1699, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj Sache Paatshah, having created the setting that they wanted to set, and having created the man they wanted to set, they knew they did not have to stay amongst us in the human form anymore. So having not to stay with us in the human form anymore posed one difficulty. How would the Sikhs gain Amrit from Guru Sahib Ji? Maharaj then introduced a new way of getting Amrit. Maharaj would entrust us human beings with that Daat of Amrit so then we can pass it forward. Guru Paatshah, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj at Sri Anandpur Sahib, Maharaj sent Hukamname to Sikhs all over the nation, even that didn't live in the lands of India. Send Hukamname Sahib. Maharaj said, whoever comes to this event of Vaisakhi, Maharaj said, jo thadiyan manokamna hongiyan, puriyan hongiyan. All Sikhs, it said 800,000 Sikhs at that time attended Sri Anandpur Sahib. When they attended Sri Anandpur Sahib, Maharaj, even though most of you have heard this, but again, whenever we hear a Sakhi again, it doesn't do us any damage. We eat the same food again and again and again, and it only benefits us. But to those of our brothers and sisters who are new to this, for them it's essential that they learn and we nurture them while they're in this Sangat also. So Guru Paatshah Maharaj withdrew their sword, just in basic. Maharaj withdrew their sword and they asked for a head. 5 times they asked for a head, and every time a Gursikh stood up, first being Bhai Daya Singh Ji. And every time they stood up, Guru Paatshah Maharaj took them into a tent like we're sitting in here. And in the presence of Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, Maharaj removed their heads. Now there's people that will, maybe through lack of faith, or maybe not through knowing any better, they will question Maharaj removing the 5 heads. In some of our history books, it's written other than that, but that's been written there by people who had the intention of mischief. So Guru Paatshah Maharaj Ji removed all their heads, and having removed their heads, Satguru Sahib Ji then reattached their heads. Now, again, for the newcomer may think that these are fantasy stories or these are just made-up stories. They are not made-up stories. If I was to give examples from Sikhi, someone may think that I'm biased, or I'm saying that out of my blind love for Guru Sahib Ji. Even in the Christian religion, there's a saint called Saint Denis. And he lived in Paris, and what some people did of that time, and that knew him, they one day, out of hatred, they cut his head off. And when they cut his head off, this Saint Denis, he walked with his head in his hands for 6 miles. And in Paris, there's a basilica. There's a huge cathedral, a really big, massive building. That's in remembrance of where he dropped his head and his body. After 6 miles, for us people that are bound to this body and know nothing other than this body, yes, if our heads were removed, we would truly die. But for those that have traveled past this body, past their Sukam Swarup, past even the Swarup of Agyanta, and those people that have reached their Atmic Avastha, for them people it's no big deal to stay alive with having their head removed. So Guru Paatshah Maharaj Ji removed all their heads. In the Sangat of Satguru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, there was a spy sent by Aurangzeb. His name is Abu ul Turani, I think. It's something like that, it may be that. And this spy, when he witnessed this, Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, he was moved in such a way. He wrote a letter to Aurangzeb Ji. And he wrote him a letter and he said that, Aurangzeb, the Allah that we look for, the Allah that we seek, the Allah that we speak about, the Allah whose Quran that you do tika of. He said, Aurangzeb Ji, that I've seen that Allah today. I've seen that Allah in the flesh and bone. And anyone, as you well know, Aurangzeb Ji, whoever stands against Allah, in the end, no matter how much of a mighty king he may be, he is doomed to fail. Guru Paatshah Ji removed the 5 heads of the 5 Singhs, and having removed their heads, Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, Maharaj reattached them. And having reattached them, Maharaj then read Panj Baniya, Sri Japji Sahib, Sri Jap Sahib, Sri Twe Prasad Swaye, Sri Chaupi Sahib, and Sri Anand Sahib Ji. And then Maharaj prepared something called Khande Ki Paul, what we also call Amrit. And that, in basic, is what the word Amrit means and how the first Amrit Sanchar came about. Hanji Singh Ji. But now, let's move on to today's day. In today's day, even though 80,000 people took Amrit at the first Amrit Sanchar, those were people that lived on every single word of Guru Maharaj Ji. Now, Das is not judging anyone here. Das is talking about himself. Everything I say starts with me. In no way is it directed at anyone. But in today's age, we question everything that Guru Sahib Ji says. And yet we say that he's our Guru Sahib. The relationship between a Sikh and a Guru is, if you're a Sikh, you learn from your Guru. And if you're learning from your Guru, you obey your Guru. And if we're questioning everything that our Guru says, then it's not really a relationship of a Sikh and a Guru. It's more like the relationship of a pain in the neck and the Lord himself. Now, that was then. Now, do I need to take Amrit? Yeah. For that individual who's realized what the path, what the reason was for them taking birth in this human form. For that individual who's realized, once having taken birth in this human form, what path they must take. Pahi prapat manuk dev hariya, Gobind milan ki eh teri bariya. For that individual who's realized that you've only obtained this human form to meet with Akal Purkh Vaheguru, for that person it is a non-negotiable, an absolute must to take Amrit. For that individual who, having realized this, wants to meet their Guru Sahib, wants to get mukti, and that person who wants to go to Sachkhand. Now those Gurmukh Pyare who have taken Amrit and are living their life as a Gursikh, for you these words, Mukti and Sachkhand, you probably hear them 2 or 3 times a day, if not more, while either listening to Katha or even listening to Kirtan. But for the newcomer, these words can sometimes not have the same effect as do those people who've taken Amrit. Now, want to meet Guru Sahib. There's something I want to say here. We all want to meet Guru Sahib, even if we haven't taken Amrit. Our intentions are good. But even though our intentions are good, that does not mean we will meet Guru Sahib Ji. Maharaj Dasme Patsha, when we do Amrit Kirtan, Maharaj says, Bina teg kesang devu na didare. Now, a lot of people sometimes argue the point that just having a teg and having kes is all that qualifies, that you need to qualify for getting darshan of Guru Sahib Ji and meeting Guru Sahib Ji. No, the ishara is towards Amrit, to Khande Ki Paul. Those of you who read Gurbani, you'll understand that when Maharaj sometimes in Gurbani mentions either Kaam or Krodh or even Lobh or even more on their own, all the other 4 come in automatically on the mention of one. When Guru Sahib Ji mentions Teg, Teg is a Shastar, your Kirpan is a Shastar. When Guru Sahib Ji mentions Kes, those 2 being mentioned automatically qualifies the other 3. Your Kishera, your Kanga, your Kada, they all get automatically qualified. What Guru Sahib Ji is saying, without Amrit, you will never get the true darshan of Guru Sahib Ji. You will never truly meet Guru Sahib Ji. To get Mukti, Guru Pyareo, again, even if someone who does not take Amrit gets to the stage of Brahm Gyan, there's Brahm Gyan in other religions as well, not just in Sikhi. Even if you was to get to Brahm Gyan, Guru Pyareo, when you go before the Lord, when you do go anywhere near Sachkhand, I doubt we'll go before the Lord. But when you go to Sachkhand, they'll turn you away, they'll turn me away, they'll turn us away if we have not taken Amrit, because until we do not come and partake in that maryada that has been set for absolutely everyone. Those of you who know Baba Bidhi Chand Ji, Baba Bidhi Chand ji done so much seva. Guru Sahib ji, Guru Maharaj said that they're my swaroop, that they're my beating heart, they are my very heart. Now, would they not get mukti? Surely they would. They did get mukti. But they came back as Bhai Bachittar Singh ji to partake in Khande di Paul. Until every single person does not take Khande ki Paul, Guru Pyareo, there is no mukti and there is no going to Sachkhand. Now again, more focusing on those of our brothers and sisters who are either deciding or are yet to take Amrit. What Das normally finds when talking to our brothers and sisters, not that I look for arguments, but they tend to find me, is sometimes I don't even know the person and they'll corner me. And they say, but why? Why do I need to take Amrit? And before I can say something, the first two words they shoot off at me, I do seva and I do simran. Gurmukh seva is an integral part of a Gursikh's life, as so is simran. But doing just seva and simran, again, it keeps on coming back to that point. We will not get to that stage where we are out of this circle of life and death. Whenever all of you Gurmukhs have probably heard, not probably, you definitely heard the Sakhi of Bhai Dallaji. Whenever someone talks about the importance of taking Amrit, they all focus on Bhai Dallaji. Bhai Dallaji was a chieftain, a small king. And he was a powerful warrior as well. And he was a pola pala banda with a lot of love for Guru Maharaj. After having left Sri Anandpur Sahib, when Maharaj arrived on the Dharti of Damdama Sahib, Maharaj ji met up with Bhai Dallaji. And when Guru Padshah ji met up Bhai Dallaji stayed with Maharaj, done many prakar di seva, but his most mukh seva was as of a, like you could say, bodyguard and a soldier. At one stage, he had heard that the Mughals that were in pursuit of Maharaj, that they were coming. And he sat on his horse at a high point on a hill from the direction in which they were going to come. And he sat on his horse, I can't remember now, for a few days, quite a few days. And during those days, it rained. The sun was scorching hot. But he was so, he was so wanting to clash his steel with the steel of the Mughals that he stayed there, pitted in one place, just looking for these Mughals to come. Now, when we hear this, we can never really quantify the gravity of someone wanting to give their life for Guru Sahib Ji. When we hear this, we may even think that we're in a position to give our life for Guru Sahib Ji. But pata udo lagda when it comes on our head. When that sama comes, that if we really have to give our life for Guru Sahib Ji, then the wheat is separated from the chaff. But this Bhai Dalla, he's so anxious to get into battle with these Mughals that he stayed on his horse for a few days. And after even that event, he stayed with Maharaj for quite some time, and to the stage where Guru Padshah Ji, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, they were so happy with his seva. Normally when we go to Guru Maharaj, we ask Maharaj for things. And here's Maharaj asking him. Maharaj never asked him for anything. We normally tell Maharaj what we would like. But here's Maharaj asking him, they say, Bhai Dalya, we're happy with your seva. We're so happy with your seva that you can ask for whatever you want. What would you like? And Bhai Dalla Singh Ji, his name wasn't Bhai Dal Singh at that stage, but Bhai Dalla Ji, having stayed with the Singhs that were close to Maharaj, their influence had rubbed off on him. And even he knew the ultimate prize was to go to Sachkhand. So he done beinti to Maharaj. He said, Maharaj, if you are happy with me, then give me some space in Sachkhand. So when I die, I have enough space to put my manja there. Some Itihaaskars have written manja, some have written a pidi. Pidi is a four-legged stool that most of you probably seen if you've been to India. He said, Maharaj, give me enough space to put my manja in Sachkhand. Guru Maharaj ne talta onu. Maharaj said, look, Bhai Dalia, why don't you ask for the kingship of this country? If not this country, why don't you ask for the kingship of the whole planet? And he said again, he said, Maharaj, no. He goes, I want some place. He goes, I want a spot in Sachkhand. Guru Padshah Ji explained to him then, Bhai Dalia, that only those people, Gurmukha, only those people, these are not my words, I'm not trying to persuade anyone. But when we share Sakhiyas such, even though we've heard them before, but when we share them amongst our brothers and sisters who are yet to embark on this path, it's that little nudge. And also they hear what Guru Sahib Ji said, my vichar is my vichar and all of us have vichara. But this is what Guru Sahib Ji is saying. Guru Sahib Ji is saying that by delay that until a Gursikh or a Sikh or anyone has not taken Amrit, they can never be destined for Sachkhand. Now, Bhai Dalla, having heard this, he never questioned Maharaj. He went on, he took Amrit, his name became Bhai Dal Singh, and until the sun is in the sky, we will always hear of the Sakhi of Bhai Dal Singh and Satguru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj explaining to him that without Amrit, there is no Sachkhand. We may dream it up in our heads that we'll get there, but again, that's all it is, it's a dream. It's not a reality. Simran, that's another thing that I get chucked at me. That I do Simran. मैं सिमरन करदा हूं, मेरा रब खुश है. Gurmukh, whenever Kalpurk Vaheguru, or let's focus on the Sargun Swarup of Guru Padshah. Whenever Guru Padshah Maharaj starts something off, nobody is out of that. Everyone must do that. Otherwise, the person who doesn't want to do that or follow whatever Guru Sahib Ji is teaching or instructing, they get left on their own. Guru Angad Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj's time, even though Guru Padshah is the form of Akal Purkh Vaheguru and they don't really need to do everything, but Guru Padshah Ji's Jeevan, every breath they've taken is an instruction, is guidance for us. Guru Angad Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj had a wish to go and see some beings called Sun Samadhis. And Maharaj, again, not taking too much time, just briefly, Maharaj visiting the different frequencies and dimensions of this universe and the unseen worlds, Maharaj got to Sachkhand. And as they got to Sachkhand, what they saw is these beings of light coming down from Sachkhand. And they were coming down from Sachkhand. And Maharaj said, are you Sun Samadhis? And these Sun Samadhis, they had done so much Simran. They had done so much Simran. Guru Pyare, some of us probably dedicate 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe a couple of hours. Whoever dedicates whatever, my head is at your feet. But these Sun Samadhis, they had become the roop of Simran. Their Rom was, their Simran was coming from each and every single cell in their body. That they had shed their body and become pure beings of light. And now these beings of light are coming down from Sachkhand. And Maharaj asked them and they confirmed, they go, yes, we are Sun Samadhis. And Guru Padshah Ji asked them, Maharaj said, why are you leaving Sachkhand? And they told Guru Padshah Maharaj that time, even though Guru Padshah has gone there, it's not because Guru Padshah needs to go to Sachkhand. Guru Padshah done this so we could hear these Sakhiyan. And when we hear these Sakhiyan, we take something from them. If not the first time, maybe the second time. But sometime, somewhere along the line, we will learn something from these Sakhiyan. Guru Padshah Maharaj says, well, why are you coming down from Sachkhand? Your aim was to get into Sachkhand, but you're now leaving Sachkhand. And they go, when Nirankar, the formless being, visited earth in the Swarup of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, they started a Bani called Rehra Sahib. And this Bani they started, Rehra Sahib Ji, all the Sikhs, the instruction was to all the Sikhs to start reading it. And when we met Maharaj, they said we were so full of ourselves that we do Simran, we don't need to read this Bani of Sri Rehra Sahib. Because Simran was coming from each and every single one of their cells. And that led them to believe that they didn't need to do what the instruction of Guru Sahib Ji was. They said that when we left our bodies, we attained Sachkhand, we reached Sachkhand, but in Sachkhand, whenever Sri Rehra Sahib Di Bani is being read, we have to leave Sachkhand. So Gurmukho, whether we do Seva or whether we do Simran, it's good thing to do Seva and good thing to do Simran. But if we're doing it in defiance of our Guru's hukam, and we're not living up to what our Guru Sahib Ji is telling us, then I don't really know what value Guru Sahib Ji will put on that. At the end of the day, it's Guru Sahib Ji who adds value to whatever we do. And if we're doing Seva of Guru Sahib and doing Simran of Guru Sahib, but then turning our backs on Guru Sahib when it comes to their very first instruction to take Amrit, then I'll leave it to yourselves to figure out how close we are to Guru or how far we are to Guru. Now another thing that gets thrown in my face quite a lot is Guru is in my heart. Absolutely correct. Guru Sahib Ji is in everyone's heart. But nowhere does it say that just by Guru Sahib Ji being in your heart, that we're going to get pulled out of this life and death situation. Nowhere does it say that having Guru Sahib Ji in your heart is it, that's it, there's nothing further to do. Guru Sahib Ji is in the heart of everything. Just like there is butter in every single drop of milk, Guru Sahib Ji is in everyone's heart. Guru Sahib Ji is in the heart of the lion in the same capacity as he is in the heart of the gazelle that lion is ripping apart. Guru Sahib Ji is in the heart of the zebra and is in the same capacity in the dung beetle that's pushing that zebra's dung away. Guru Sahib Ji is in everyone's heart, just like there is cure in every drop of milk. But just knowing that the cure is in the milk does not mean you'll obtain it. To procure that cure from milk, there is a procedure. And that procedure, just like that procedure, there is a procedure for all of us. If we say Guru Sahib Ji is in our heart, to meet that Guru Sahib Ji, we must also employ a procedure. And that procedure starts with taking Amrit. And taking Amrit isn't the final step. Taking Amrit is the first step. Having taken Amrit, all my brothers here, starting with me, we must keep as much Rahat as we can. And now when I say as we can, that doesn't mean it's a green light to do what you want or for me to do what I want. No. The Rahat we know about, we must keep. The Rahat we don't know about, just like we go to lengths to find many things, about many things in life, we must do as much as we can to find out what Guru Sahib Ji's Rahat is and improve on it and progress on it day by day. So Guru Sahib Ji in my heart, again, is Guru Sahib Ji not in the heart of those people that have taken Amrit? Of course he is. Was Guru Sahib Ji not in the heart of Baba Ajit Singh Ji? Was Guru Sahib Ji not in the heart of Mata Gujar Kaur Ji? Was Guru Sahib Ji not in the heart of all Char Sahibzade and all the Matawa? Was Guru Sahib Ji not in the heart of all the Bhagats? Even they had to come back, Guru Pyareo, to take Amrit. Guru Sahib Ji, yes, is in the heart of every individual. But without taking Amrit, Guru Pyareo, without changing our mindset in order to take Amrit, we will never meet with that Guru Sahib Ji, who is so close, we say it with our own mouths, that he's in my heart. But whether you live to be 60 or whether you live to be 90, we will go to our death, not even having met Guru Sahib Ji. It's when we take Amrit, we set up ourselves upon that journey that in the end will lead us to Guru Sahib Ji. Baba Kalatari Ji, just a short little Sakhi. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj's aunts, their bloodline. Who could say that Guru Sahib Ji wasn't in their heart? This is the founder of Good Sikhi. Guru Nanak Dev Ji's bloodline, their very own bloodline, so many generations down the line of Guru Gobind Singh Ji's time. Baba Kalatari Ji came to Guru Gobind Singh Ji and he said, Maharaj, our bloodline has stopped. There are no children forthcoming in our bloodline. And Guru Padshah said the same instruction to Baba Kalatari Ji as we're hearing again and again and again here tonight. And as Guru Sahib Ji would tell each and every single individual, should we meet Guru Sahib Ji, Maharaj says, take Amrit. And once your Ans Bans takes Amrit, your bloodline will continue. So even in the bloodline of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, they had to take Amrit. No one must kid themselves into thinking that there's no need for me to take Amrit. The third thing I encounter a lot is I am a good person. I don't need to take Amrit. I have a good house. I have a good car, good job. I'm as healthy as a horse. I don't need to take Amrit. Guru Pyare, I'm going to share a little story about you, about Mohan Singh. Those of you who've been to Punjab, here's Amritsar, where it says Amritsar. And if you go from Amritsar towards Lahore, on this road here, there's a border called Wagha border. And above there, on the map obviously, north of Wagha border is a place called Modde. Not Moge or Moga, Modde. And this Modde Pind had a man by the name of Mohan Singh living there. And this Mohan Singh, he passed away about 2 o'clock in the morning one night. And anyway, his family woke up. They saw him dead. They sent messages, near and far. He's passed away. Like here, we have funeral homes. Over there, they don't. So they sent out messages. And the next day, by the evening, they were going to take him down to the Shamshan Ghat, which is the burial stroke cremation ground, and they were going to set his body alight. So people started coming from near and far. People started gathering. And in the afternoon, when they put his body on a wooden flatbed, and they've taken him down to the cremation ground, they read Sri Japji Sahib, and they've got a chanda meaning the flame. And just as they're about to touch the flame onto his chikha, onto his funeral pyre, he sat up. And those of you who go to Punjab, if you do get a chance, visit Modde. His son's names, the family is known as Babeke. And his son's names are Sukhchain Singh, Ajit Singh, and Deep Singh, and they're still there. Go and see them. They're very, very nice people. They'll never turn you away. And he sat up. And when he sat up, those people there that were like me, they legged it without even collecting their shoes. They thought, Poot aa gaya, Poot, Pret. But those Gurmukh Siane that were there, they knew something was happening. And he sat up, he looked at everyone, and these are his exact words. He said, Bhaiyo, meri gal sunyo. I will say this once. He said, main ek baare gal kamanga, us to baad main dobara nahi gal dasni. And those that were still there gathered close and they listened to him. He said, about 2 or 3 o'clock this morning, he said, I was asleep and in my dream world. And all of a sudden, he goes, the lights went out. He goes, the lights went out, and then they come and showed their face to me. Those that we call Jamdoot. He said, they come and showed their face to me. And he said, they set about me in such a way, it felt as if they were breaking my bones. Malk jo kanni suni da muh ve khale aaye. He said, they showed their face to me. They started smashing. When we take the wire out of that printer or the computer, you're effectively disconnecting it. What they were doing, they were disconnecting his Sukam Sroop from the hardware, his body. And he said, I was getting so much pain. He goes, once they disconnected me, he said, they took me. And he said, I don't know what I've done wrong. He goes, they carried on beating me. They beat me. And he goes, I'm asking them, why are you hitting me? And he said, they wouldn't speak. They just carried on giving me such a beating. And he goes, then all of a sudden, they put this chain around me. And he said, they dragged me at such a speed. Now, if somebody puts a chain around me and they're tied me to the back of their vehicle and they dragged me, I'd become very thin, very, very quick. And then I'd probably die, having just my bones left. But there, he said, I couldn't even die. He said, here the body dies. He said, there you just endure it. He said, they dragged me at such a speed. And he goes, then all of a sudden they stopped and he said, we were at the bank of a river. He said, we're at the bank of a river and this river had fire flowing through it. If you imagine lava flowing through a channel, coming out of the top of a volcano or mountain or wherever it comes out of, he describes it as that. He said it was like tar going through a river. Tar is molten metal. And he said, when we were at that bank, he said all they done was pointed to the other side. As soon as they pointed to the other side, he said they picked me up and they flung me into there. Now here, if somebody chucks us in fire, molten metal, whatever, we would die. And once you're dead, you know, it's all over. He said, there I couldn't even die. He said, I was getting excruciating pain to the stage. I was moving my hands and my arms around. He said, but I just could not die. And he goes, when I realized what, they're not letting me out, they're pointing to the other bank. They were saying, go there. He said, I got to the other side. And when I got to the other side, he goes, they dragged me out. And then they started dragging me again. All of this, what you're hearing, Gurmukh, not only can you hear it from their mouths, but most of this about the journey that this soul takes is in Sukhmani Sahib and in other parts of Gurbani. So he said they started dragging me again, and he said now they come to another river. And this river was made of pus, the white stuff that comes out of a spot. And he said this pus was hot and it was boiling. And he said then, this time they didn't even point to the other bank. He said they just threw me in it. And he said, but I was in so much pain. He said I couldn't move. I couldn't even swim to the other side. And now this may sound unreal, but go and see him. Just because we haven't experienced something or we haven't seen something does not mean that it doesn't exist. How many of us here have been to New Zealand? No one? It exists. Even though we haven't seen it, it exists. So this Bhai Mohan Singh, he's telling him, he said that, he goes, I couldn't even swim. And he goes, then this cow came along. And now this sounds, you know, it's like something out of Shrek, but it isn't. He said this cow came along. And he said this cow said to me, Mohan Singh, grab my tail. And he said, I grabbed the cow's tail and he flung me to one side. He said, I'm used to living in this world, and now all of a sudden I've awoken somewhere where they're beating me left, right and center, putting me through so much pain. And now he said, I'm trying to make sense of why this cow has come along and got me to hold its tail and swung me out of this river. And the cow told him, the cow said, listen, Mohan Singh, do you remember when you was a child? He said, the cow said, do you remember when you was a child, you were standing by the river and you saw a calf being carried downstream that had fallen into the river? And he said, yeah. He said, I remember that. And the calf said, when he was young, he was a very, very strong man. Even in old age, he was a very strong man. He was a very, very good person. She said, the cow said, she goes, you got the rope that was near you with such speed and excellence that you swung it, you got it around me, also jumped in the water, tied the rope, and you pulled me out the water. And then not knowing where I'd come from, you went and gave the cow to the poorest family in the village who had virtually nothing. And from that cow, Gurmukh, they got milk. They got many other services from that cow. Unhone sukh paya. The cow said, she said, the pun you had done, I am that pun. We sometimes kid ourselves into thinking just because we're do-gooders, that's the entirety of it, that we don't need to do anything else. We have a visitor.
It's trying to knock itself out.
Hanji. So he said, this cow said to me that I am that pun, but here nothing works. Bin har bhajan nahi shutkara. Guru Maharaj says, without Hari's bhajan, without following Guru Sahib's instruction, there is no shutkara, there is no mukti. The cow told him, she said that pun here are nothing. They have no value. They're all zeros unless you've got the one, the eka of ik oankar. Unless you've got the eka added to that zero, there's no value. You add an ik to a zero, it becomes a 10. You add ik to 2 zeros, it becomes 100, so on and so forth. And the cow said, here they have no value. But this one pun, she said, I will get you to Dharmaraj. And he said, when she said this, instantly, just as Bhai Sahib here is changing the screens, in the same way, he was taken from where he was right in front of Dharmaraj. And he explains Dharmaraj. He said Dharmaraj has a strikingly, so brilliant, like lightning, that kind of a brilliant white. He has a beard, big, massive, long beard, really good looking. And Dharmaraj said to him, Bhai Mohan Singh, his name wasn't Mohan Singh then, by the way. Maybe it was, but he hadn't taken Amrit. He said, Mohan Singh, he said, you are such a good man. It's hard to find a man as good as you on earth. You are such a good man that because you are good and because you have done that pun, we're going to give you one opportunity. Otherwise, you've already seen what happens to those people that don't take Amrit and don't do Simran. He said, you've lived your life being such a good man that you've misled yourself into believing that because you're good, you don't need to take Amrit. And because you're good, you don't need to do Simran. He said, I'm going to send you back for a certain amount of time. Go back, but the first thing you do when you go back is seek out where there's going to be an Amrit Sanchar and take Amrit. And then, whatever breaths you are allowed from God, from Vaheguru, to stay on earth, only use those breaths in doing Naam Simran. Gurmukha, if any one of you goes to Mudde Pind, and the topic was, but I'm a good person. Now, I can say I'm a good person, but the rest of you might hate me and say, no, he's a bad person. So me saying doesn't mean anything. But this Mohan Singh, the whole village will tell you that this guy was an absolute diamond. His nature was such that he had a farm where kharbuje grew. And if he was ever walking, as farmers would, to go and see their land and see if everything's okay, he would often catch people stealing kharbuje. And what he would do, he would duck down, not let them see him, and he would just go the other way. Why? He never wanted anyone to go hungry. He never wanted anyone, he didn't want to catch someone for them to feel that he caught them stealing. This was the nature of this man, of Mohan Singh. And when he sat up on that flatbed they made for him before they burnt his body, he told everyone the story. And having told everyone the story, he stayed for about a month and a half after that. He never spoke to anyone, and all he done was Naam Simran. Now, Gurmukh, that's in another country. Even here in Hounslow, even for those of you brothers and sisters that have come from Birmingham, there's a man by the name of Nirmal Singh. He lives in Hounslow. He does a lot of seva at Nishkam Sevak Jatha. They've also got a Gurukar on Sahur Road in Birmingham. And most Fridays to Sundays, he's at Birmingham. I don't know, there's a building being built there somewhere near the Gurdwara or on the Gurdwara grounds. And he goes and does seva in the building of that building from a Friday evening till a Sunday evening. This guy does untold seva. If you can ever get an opportunity to meet him, you'll be hearing it straight from the horse's mouth. And he'll tell you what happened with his mother when she also passed away. And when she went before the Jamdoots, even though she had taken Amrit, she had made a mistake, she had told a lie. Not one lie, she had told the same lie for her entire life. So she was sent back. Again, for those Gurmukh Pyare that have taken Amrit, Gurmukh, all of us, starting with me, we sometimes think it's okay to bend the truth a little. No, it's not okay to bend the truth a little. We must observe the right that Guru Sahib Ji has given us. There are certain circumstances when you will not tell the truth, and it still is the truth. But we're not touching on that. I'm touching on everyday life. In our everyday life, if we're engaging in things like lying, in chugli, or even backbiting someone, then we're not observing Guru Sahib Ji's right. If we're not observing Sucham, if we're not observing Nitnem, whatever our shortfalls are, we must do Ardas in front of Maharaj so that our Jivan as Amrit Taris is always in bloom and in progress. For those Pyare that haven't taken Amrit yet, this Bibi, when she died, his mother, Nirmal Singh's mother, remember his name, Nirmal Singh, and do go and see him, whether it's in Birmingham or in Hounslow at Nishkam Sevak Jatha Gurdwara, and speak to him. And he's a very, very nice person. His mother, when she got taken by the Jamdoots for the lie she had told, and she went before Dharmaraj, she came back too. And when she came back, she told the entire family what she saw there. She said, all of my sisters that had died before her, they were all hanging upside down and having their skin removed from their body. And when she came back and she told this to the family, 23 members of that family took Amrit. 11 of them are Kirtaniya. 8 of them play tabla. And that whole family, whether someone's birthday, whether someone's passed their driving test, in their good times, even if it's their bad times, whether someone's broken a fingernail or got run over by a car, they all do whatever they want. Whatever they do it in Guru Sahib Ji's Hazuri. That's the impact that woman had on their lives. Now, when we take Amrit, now that we've heard that there's no way out other than taking Amrit, when we take Amrit, Guru Pyareo, a certain thing happens. When we're born into this world, we're born as something called Bindi offspring to our parents. And they are pretty much in charge and responsible for our lives in a ballpark. But when we take Amrit, Guru Pyareo, we enter a contract between ourselves and Guru Sahib. We become their children, and they become. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj becomes our father. Mata Sahib Kaur Ji becomes our mother, and they become responsible. Forget the body, just bring the body out the question. They become responsible for that what is inside us. And when we do take Amrit, we become their Nadi offspring, their Nadi Alad. And when we're born that way in the house of Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, and Dasme Patsha becomes our father, the contract that we enter into is Maharaj up until that point, until the point we've taken Amrit. Maharaj will become responsible for absolutely everything. Maharaj will become responsible for absolutely everything we have done up until that point, regardless of what we have done. Whether they choose to get rid of that lekha by giving us dukh or sukh, that's down to them then. But whatever we do after that day, that's the second part of the contract. Not only the first part is they become responsible. The second part is Maharaj will give us instructions at the time of taking Amrit through the Panj Pyare. Whatever instruction Guru Sahib Ji gives us, not only do we live that instruction, but we take every step with great care, and we must observe Guru Maharaj's wrath in every single step we take. Now, when there's something wrong with the body, we pay a lot of attention to it. And when we hear about Maharaj being responsible for everything we've done up until that day, we never really understand what we have done. We never really understand what's inside us. To understand this, I'm just going to pay attention to our bodies just for a minute or two. Our bodies are made up of something called DNA. Now, DNA, 1 gram is like a drop on the end of your finger. How much information do you think? Is there anyone here, and I didn't know this, I learned it by the way. Is there anyone here who knows how much information we can store on 1 gram of DNA? No, let's talk in gigabyte terms.
Yeah, 10 million. It's like the most you can get.
Sorry?
Like more than 1 million.
Million gigabytes.
Hundreds of
700,000 gigabytes of information we can store. Now, some people, that was the initial research by Harvard. But now they're saying up to 4.7 billion gigabytes of information can be stored on 1 gram of DNA. Let's go over the lower level of 700,000 gigabytes. And now if you look at me, there's lots of grams of DNA on me. And just imagine how much information there must be stored in that DNA. Okay? Now, I don't know how to get rid of that information. That information is locked with the information that's written inside me, which is in my S2iCamp17. Thank you, Singh. Sorry, I forgot to give you the... Now, where do I start to get rid of that information? Until that information is not gone, I will keep on taking birth, then I'll die, then I'll take birth, then I'll die. Not always in human form, maybe who knows what, only Guru Sahib Ji knows. There's 8.4 million different variations. So now all this information that is in me, I can't even remove 1 gram's worth. How do I remove it all? And it's all linked back to something called our S2iCamp17, our 17 tattan wala swaroop. That's where all the information is, in something inside us called our Antishkaran. How? Where do we start? But when we take Amrit Guru Pyareo, we have got someone now responsible for that information, and that is none other than the one who created that information, the one who wrote that information. If left to our own devices, where do we start? Where do we stop? If I think about it, I end up moving my pug around. I got so, frustrated. I don't know where to start, where to stop. Now, but that's my body. Maybe science will get to a stage where they can find the information for cancer and they can press delete on it. They can find the information for AIDS and get rid of it. But they can't find the information for what's going to happen to me once I die. They have no power over that. All this information that's within inside us, it's called our likha. It's called our destiny. And we have no control over that, Gurmukho. It's when we take Amrit and we enter into this contract with Maharaj that from this day forth, you are not only my Satguru, my mother and father, and I am your child, but you are my everything, you are my Guru and I am your Sikh. When we enter into this contract, that's when Guru Sahib Ji truly becomes responsible for us. You've all probably got mobile phones. When you go back to your beds tonight, get your mobile phones, put it on video, and record it for 10 seconds. And that's it. And then go into menu, go into details, and they'll tell you the size of the file. And that's purely from audio and visual. That's all that phone is recorded. Just like that phone records it and is storing megabytes after megabytes after megabytes, we too, throughout our whole day and our whole night, are storing megabytes upon megabytes upon megabytes of information inside us. There's another variable here. It's not just audio and visual. It's the thoughts we have. It's the actions we do. All this is being recorded inside us. How on earth will we ever get mukti? How do we even get to that information? Who knows where Danish House Lane is here? Anyone? No, it's 3 streets away. It's 3 streets away. We don't, how, unless Google tells us we can't get there. And if Google did tell us we can get there because it's something that we can achieve, how are we going to ever achieve getting into something called our antishkarat and removing all the karam we've done? Unless we dwell on these things, unless we reflect on these things, we never really tend to understand them. So Guru Padshah Maharaj, when we enter into this contract with them, they become responsible for our destiny. Now the headline was the importance of Amrit. And when Das was asked by these Gurmukhs here to do a talk on this, I started thinking about the importance of Amrit. And I just couldn't put my finger on anything. My thought grew into a stem, which then branched out, which then had many leaves per branch, and I could not think of one thing that I could boil down, that I could say, this is the importance of Amrit. The importance of Amrit is so paramount that words cannot really describe it. So when I was at this junction, and I didn't know exactly what to say or what to do, then I saw the Sharan of Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj is so great. Even a fool like me, in an instance, they, give you what you're after. And my mind was drawn towards something called the Khalsa Mool Mantra. Nihang Singhs read Khalsa Mool Mantra quite a bit. Other Singhs read it, but a lot of people don't read it because they don't really know about it. Now in Khalsa Mool Mantra, I won't keep you much longer after this, just a few more minutes. In Khalsa Mool Mantra, those Singhs that were close to Guru Sahib, that were very close to Guru Sahib, those divine beings, if we ask them, what's the importance of taking Amrit? And this is what they say. They start off with Ses, Sures, Dines, Nises, Pises. Ses is Sesnag. Sesnag is a 1,000-headed snake. Now again, we haven't seen a 1,000-headed snake. We haven't probably even seen a 2-headed snake. We can easily think, no, these are fairy tales, these things are made up. No, they live in different frequencies and different dimensions. Should our third eye begin to open up, we would see far more than these 2 eyes that are effectively blind can see. So Ses is a 1,000-headed snake. Sures is the king of the angels, Indra Devta. Dines is the king of the day. Who's that? The sun. Nises is the king of the night, the moon. Just like we human beings have this body and we've taken this to be our true roop, it isn't. And just like this isn't our true roop and our Sukam roop is inside us, and we also have an Atma, our Sukam roop is something called our Dib roop. Now when we shed this body, this human body, and die, and we become a tree, the Sukam roop is still the same. The Sukam roop is still the same, the Dib roop is still the same, but the body has changed. Just like that, the sun, it has a Dib roop, and the Dib roop is called Suraj Devta. So, Ses, the 1,000-headed snake, Sures, the Suraj Devta, I beg your pardon, Sures is the king of the angels, that's Indra Devta. Dinesh is Suraj Devta. Nises is Chandrama Devta. These are all spiritual beings, but they manifest themselves as the sun and as the moon. Pises, even the demons, Khojat hai, they're all looking for this being. These things of Guru Maharaj's time, who Maharaj has instructed to write down what happened at that first Amrit Sanchar, they're writing this down. They're writing that these beings, these powerful beings, they're looking for someone. Also, Siddh, Muni, Mun Narad. Siddh are those people that have got to that avastha where they have gained all riddhiyan, siddhiyan, magical powers. Muni are those people who through doing hard tapasya have managed to bring to a halt this man. This man never really stops. When you go back to your rooms, put your telephone in front of you, sit down, and watch how many times your hand's going to go towards that phone. Just watch again and again, and then you'll start to feel what your man is. So these munis who have turned around and managed to bring to a halt their wavering and wandering man. Siddh, Muni, Mun, Narad. Narad is the son of Brahma. His name is Narad Muni. Mun Narad. Se Jachat hai. Jachat means they're looking for, they're wanting. This is all pointing towards someone. So, Ses, Sures, Dinesh, Nises, Pises, Siddh, Muni, Mun, Narad, Se Jachat hai. For how long? Bar lakh karori. For hundreds of thousands of millions of years, they've been searching for this supreme being. Pujang, Kshama Karna, Kinnar, Jach, Pujang, again, beings that we will not see with these eyes, that live in other dimensions. They can be part of the Devta also. Sevat hai, that supreme being who all these beings are doing seva of. Now, the last pankti where those Singhs write the importance of Amrit. It's hidden in there if you look for it. All these beings are looking for this one supreme being. We humans are nothing. These supreme beings, the Singhs are saying they're looking for this one supreme being. Who is that supreme being? So Gur Puran, the immaculate, the perfect, the complete Guru. Who? Guru Gobind Singh Ji. The Singhs are talking about Guru Gobind Singh Ji, who is being sought after all these unseen beings, these supreme beings, but the Singhs can see him. Why? Because of the avastha they're at. And the Singhs, right, they have not been just searching for Guru Sahib Ji like we might do. We go on a Sunday, matha take a search and then come back home. No, they've been searching for bar means years, lakh means 100,000, karori means million. For hundreds of thousands of millions of years, these beings are searching for the divine being, but they can't find him. But now, the Singhs are writing that Pura Guru has manifested himself in the form of Dasme Pacha Satguru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. And what is that Guru doing? Amrit Mangat. They're asking for Amrit. Amrit Mangat Khalse Agar Kharyo Kar Jori. Singh Ji. If there was any doubt about the importance of Amrit, if we reflect on what those Singhs have written, Amrit is so important that Guru Patsha Maharaj, the one who everyone is searching for they couldn't find, has taken the form of a human being, and they themselves are asking for it. If they themselves are asking, they don't need Amrit. Let's get this straight. They don't need Amrit. They are Amrit. I don't need to say A, B, C. But when I'm teaching my children, I need to speak like that. Otherwise, they'll never learn. That's a big bug. And I'm scared.
I'm knocking myself out again.
Even he's searching for it. Now, Now this Puran Guru, this Samrat Guru, he is asking for this Amrit. Why? So we never think that we Guru ji ne nahi aap Amrit shakya. Guru Paatshah aap khud Amrit mang rahe hai. When the Singhs asked Maharaj, they said, Maharaj, when you gave Amrit to us, you cut our heads off. What will you give in return for this Amrit? And what Guru Paatshah said at that time, if that doesn't nail it, for someone like me, nothing else will. Maharaj said, Singho Amrit de do. You only sacrificed your heads, I will sacrifice my entire family. Sat Sri Akal. Maharaj said, Singho de do Amrit. You only sacrificed your head, I will sacrifice my entire family for this daat. Gurmukha, we live in a world where we very rarely sit down and take the time to reflect on our lives. If we do sit down and reflect on our lives, then we will find, for those of us who have taken Amrit and are still stuck at that point of having taken Amrit, we will find exactly where we are. And then we will learn to identify what obstacles we have and how to overcome them. For those who haven't taken Amrit, it's just as important that you identify what is stopping us. And whatever the reasons are, even though we've covered only a few reasons, the reasons that I normally get shoved in my face, when we identify them, you must understand something, and this starts with me. The only reason those reasons are there is because of the darkness we're living in. It's because of the male that we have inside us. And once we've found this problem, once we've identified this, we must learn to do ardas in front of Maharaj. Because left to our own devices, Sangati, we may say, oh, I'm not ready now. There's a Gurmukh I spoke to here, and he said, I'm getting ready for it. We have put so much hope in life, that we actually think we're going to be ready maybe next year, in 5 years, in 10 years' time. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, when sitting with their Gurmukh Pyare, Maharaj asked a spontaneous question. Maharaj says, Gurmukh, tell us, what's your view on life? Bhai Sahib, Bhai Mardana, Bhai Sahib, Bhai Bala and Bhai Laloji were with them that evening. And one said, Maharaj, what's our view on life? Who knows how long this life is going to be for? Who knows if we're going to see tomorrow morning? The other one spoke, Maharaj, who knows if, forget tomorrow morning, who knows if this kadi is going to pass? Sorry, if this raat is going to pass. Tomorrow morning is far away, we could die during the night. And the third one spoke, Maharaj, tomorrow morning's too far away, the night's too far away. Who knows if this kadi is going to pass? Kadi is a segment of time, about 20 minutes long. And they said, Maharaj, when Maharaj heard them, Maharaj laughed. Maharaj said, Gurmukh, you've got so much hope in life. Maharaj said, this breath that we're taking in, there's no guarantee it's going to come back out. Absolutely no guarantee. And Gurmukh, those of my dear brothers and sisters, I think that bug's going to kill me. Now, Gurmukh, those are my dear brothers and sisters. Don't ever think that we individually are going to reform ourselves to that point where we'll take Amrit. Whatever your dukh is, whatever your obstacle is, learn to do one thing. Learn to do ardas in front of Maharaj. Don't tell anybody else your dukh, because nobody else is going to push your dukh away. Learn to do ardas in front of Maharaj, and then watch, providing our intentions are pure. No you saying, Maharaj, main Amrit Shakna Chahna, but inside you don't want to. Inside and what the coming out of the mouth must be one. And when we reach that point, both are one, and we do ardas in front of Maharaj, let Maharaj take our reins. Let Maharaj start leading our life. Now, Gurmukh, I forgot what the next slide is. Okay, quickly. See this word, Next slide. Next slide. House. Okay. Next slide. You saw 3 words: health, wealth, and house. Have you had time to think? Excellent. Now, be honest. Be honest, because if we're not honest to ourselves, we're not truthful to ourselves, we'll never be truthful to anyone else. How many of us here, when they saw health, thought about finance? Can't put your hands up. Wow, I'm truly in the Sangat of Angels. Sorry, beg your pardon, wealth. Well, today, health is fine. Booper. Anyway, when you saw the words wealth, how many of us thought about a financial connection? When you saw health, how many of us thought about a bodily connection? And when you saw house, how many of us thought about bricks and mortar? Okay, cool. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. Can we move on to... How many of us, when we thought about wealth, thought about Simran and Nitnem? How many of us, when we thought about health, thought about a healthy conscience? Hanji Singh, the next one. How many of us, when we thought about a house, thought about the house inside us, where Paramatma resides, this house of Bhakti? When at the beginning I said I come back to the word Amrit, this is the death we have all died. This is the death that Guru Sahib Ji wants to make us devoid of. This is what Guru Sahib Ji wants to wake us up from. And that's not going to happen in the truest sense until we take Amrit. Now, Gurmukho, you're all going to like the next slide. The next one, sorry. I've never done a presentation before. So, Guru Pyare, just recapping. Whenever we got reasons not to take Amrit, find those reasons. And those reasons are stemming either from not enough Sangat or either not enough love for Guru Maharaj. If we've truly got love for Guru Maharaj, proper love, not utton, not chopri preet. If we got proper love for Guru Sahib Ji, then why are we delaying getting on that path where Guru Sahib Ji becomes our mother and our father, whilst being our Satguru Sahib? So Gurmukha, that brings to an end, as it so eloquently says on the screen, this talk.